2:35 Monday, January the 15th, 2024. And I'm under the weather. I've got the flu, not COVID flu, a mild flu. I'm told about 10 others in the building have it, and we're getting meds for that. I can't get in bed with any comfort. I immediately get stopped up without relief. I've been kind of unaware of some developments until today, when I found out that maybe RFK has a running mate from Hawaii. I don't know. And then what really caught my interest was that X is going to host Don Lemon and some other folks, refugees from cable television, I guess, and so on. X is said to be pivoting toward video. The only way I know to post a video of any length is upload to YouTube and then put the link to the YouTube video onto X. And frankly, X still seems chaotic to me. And I have not noticed in the last 10 days or so that people who are connected with me on Facebook are inclined to hook up on X, and I guess that's par, isn't it? I have felt the same way for a long time about X or Twitter, but with all that news, the news that around midnight last night, X purged some left-leaning accounts, and I guess I got the same treatment I got at Facebook. No explanation, nothing. So, you know, as I told my friends, I will not be made whole. I know, that is to say, that Facebook will not apologize, no matter what. I could say more, but I don't think there's any point in it. Just gonna move on, if I can, to something else. But with the news that X is now purging people, well, I really wonder where on earth I might post anything, because I've not posted anything that would be cause for something like that. I noticed before I started this that Jacobin has its own Facebook website. Well, how could I be purged from Facebook for sharing Jacobin articles and some other similar stuff? That make good sense, but then one nightmare after another has taken hold, and I'll do the best I can. But it does seem that for the foreseeable future, whatever I might have to say in terms of a video memo instead of alphanumerics, might still be more convenient for me than a keyboard, because of my infirmities. So I wonder if people think that's a terrible, outrageous imposition. I've never thought that about the email address that I've always published. It hasn't caused the end of the world. And the hit and run attitude that some people have, in terms of media, they'll say or do something and nobody can find them or anything. Just hit and run. So I haven't been that way, and Facebook has really made an impression on me. Sure has. And then, of course, the reaction, if I may talk about the fourth wall for a minute, the reaction has been almost as great as, what happened on October 7th. Just a lot of sorrow for me, a lot of heartache. I'm having trouble with this business of full-throated support, unqualified support for Israel while Palestinians suffer. It's so sophisticated, isn't it, to think about who's in the driver's seat doing one thing or another. Well, that's just about as sophisticated as the nightmare I've suffered for 60-odd years, or longer. Where would you like to start? I'm not amused by the drunken lords carrying on because of what they take for granted. What were the reports rolling in? And I take note of the fact that it's hard to explain tens of thousands of people around the world in the streets marching in support of the Palestinians, while a few people say, we understand, our point of view is very special, and we share that with any number, and therefore certain people are, I really wonder how things are going to be even-handed. Remember when people talk about even-handed diplomacy in the Middle East? At the time, it was thought to be, just about the best thing to do. But nowadays, people are rejoicing in their certain knowledge of one thing or another, and I just find that to be outrageous. Now then, it's no secret that I like a lot of positions that Jacobin has taken over the years, and I can take it or leave it when it comes to any particular article or emphasis. There's some things that seem obsessive from time to time, and sometimes that is given some attention by Jacobin. I used to pay for subscriptions, but now I can hardly rub 2 cents together here in this dump, one of the worst places maintained for indigent Medicare and Medicaid recipients. The place does have Wi-Fi, but then I have to say, so what? Because I've looked around and I see now that that I can't do anything better than self-censorship. The prospects for free speech are not good, and the only thing I know that might be hardcore industrial strength is to recommend that people be courageous enough to publish an email address, a working email address, so that they can receive private messages from YouTube. YouTube allows only one thing in terms of private messages, and that is that some originator has to specify an email, a working email, a standard email for a recipient of a private video. And then what they do is send a notice to that email address saying that there's a private message awaiting on YouTube. There are those who are going to, people have a strange attitude about communication. I can't tell you how sad I am to see what's happening with so many places changing about free speech. Now I see that Robert Kennedy is thinking of moving, they say, to the center-right position, because that's where the talking points are about COVID and First Amendment rights and Second Amendment rights, whereas center-left has been turned into a basket case of feeble arguments. Well, I don't know what that means, but offhand I can't think of much more than sometimes some good academic treatment of some extremely dire straits that we face, such as the juggernaut with the wrong engineering for electrical, for EVs continues. And in the background, a few people say, we're not going to do that. Toyota, for example, and many Chinese companies, and drivers, motorists in Scandinavia, for example, parts of Europe. And the trend about transportation still favors automotive, the singularity of a driver or what, a monitor watching the automatic driver of a car, all of that, instead of light rail. And I think that so far what really people have said, on a confidential level is, well, we're not homogeneous enough to share decent light rail. We hate each other, and that shows why we can't have light rail, and that puts people behind a steering wheel. And I think that's a sad commentary on several different levels. But to get the aerial pictures where 8 lanes going in one direction and 8 lanes going in the other direction with an average speed of about 10 miles an hour, and people are okay with that. Basically, people want to play the game, with gasoline, the way it's been played now, all the way out to the extremities of making the wrong EV technology for folks. So all of that, I think, might be on the center left and really analyzed for what it is and so on. But it's not there to be found. So I guess for the politicians this go round, the center right is where things are going to be decided. Um, and I can't even say what that means at this point. You know, I used to look for the kind of things that I could share on my Facebook, and I'll be damned if the fix isn't in, because it couldn't have been anything but exactly what was intended. And that's that, you know. Just like, you know, the follow through from October 7th, you know what followed the raid in the room here, and you know where people took all that. So you know, I'm the village idiot in so many ways, but I do respect Jacob in spite of it all, and there's some things I might not particularly care for. That's the wonder of a healthy magazine. We agree on a lot, we really do. And where we disagree, it's a matter of expediency, I think, simply to pay more attention to where we agree than where we disagree. But then I have a very solitary existence. As a matter of fact, things have gotten pretty tenuous for me. Years ago, I became basically solitary, except for monitors. I have 3 flat screens here, and not much else. And I don't have conversations anymore. It doesn't work out that way. There can be a voiceover this way or that, or there can be this, that, and the other. But you know, the idea of someone in the room with me is antithetical, and yet over time things have gotten to a point where there's a sadness simply because of the lack of quality in so much that is available generally. Certainly it isn't because I'm totally dedicated only to, you know, cartoons, video, what? I like to read. I really like to read, but few match the standards that make that worthwhile. It's still worthwhile to me, and I can't send any money, no earnest money, to anybody anymore. I can barely buy a few clothes every now and then. In fact, I'm really saving up to buy just a few more clothes than you can see here. And now, because of a lot of physical problems, I have to change diapers about 3 times a day. Bright red blood. All kinds of problems. So I hope I'm not offending somebody by sending a link to a video. But, you know, in terms of how the game is played, I never thought that I didn't have a fairly good relationship with Facebook. Turns out I don't. So, you know, I kind of feel kind of punchy as a result. But I'll send this anyway, and I have some other emails that I could send to. reviving a routine that I had 20 years ago. Some emails that I still have. But none of this is going to go on much longer. The way things are going now, I just hardly think that the tenuous will be replaced by something better anytime soon.